today is an exciting day because we're finally going to tackle our pantry. It's been driving me crazy for like the whole month that we've lived here. It is in desperate need of attention. So we're doing a quick little pantry makeover. Nothing too crazy. I bought a couple of things at Target and the Container Store, which I'll show you a little later. It would have been great if we had an IKEA nearby, but the closest IKEA is like 3 hours away. We're making do with what we have, which is Target and the Container Store, and they're a bit more expensive than IKEA. So I only bought a couple of containers, prioritizing the things that are already open, so that way those things can stay fresh. And I already had a couple of baskets that I found at the thrift store, so we're going to use that as well. Basically just to try to organize it a little bit because it's a complete disaster, making it a little bit more practical and usable. Let's get to work. This is the current state of affairs. So we have 2 cabinets that we use for our pantry. And yeah, it's an absolute disaster. I can't find anything. I literally would not be able to tell you right now where anything is. We need to organize, definitely. Everything is just jumbled up. So I'm going to take everything out so that we can sort through everything, try to group things together so that way it would be easier to organize. To organize by category. So we have the canned food, there's pasta right there, rice and farro in the middle, breadcrumbs or like cooking things, baking things here, then snacks there. So hopefully that'll make things easier to organize inside the pantry. And these are some of the things that we're working with. I showed these baskets that I found at a thrift store in another video. So I think I'm going to use them in the pantry. They're a little bit big. I actually originally wanted to get some from the Container Store that were a bit smaller so that way I could fit 2 in one shelf, but they didn't have any. So we're gonna work with these for now. So I'm gonna put some snacks and things in those. Then I have these 3 glass jars that were from Target. So that's gonna be used for things that are already open. So probably like the baking soda, brown sugar, things like that. Also have these 2 big containers. That's gonna be for the flour and the sugar. This was an old chicken broth jar, so I'm just gonna use that to store some breadcrumbs. And then I bought this container at the Container Store, and I'm thinking of putting Loki's food cans there, so that way it'll be easier to tumble down. We grab one, they can all just come down. I'm also planning to get more jars like this, just reused jars from food that we buy and that we eat for other stuff that currently doesn't have a jar or is in a bag right now. But yeah, so I'll slowly collect these jars and then slowly swap them out in the pantry. And then lastly, I just have this Lazy Susan. I thrifted this in Miami actually, and I brought it with me. I think I'm going to put canned food on this so that way it is easier to see, and it'll be on one of the higher shelves so that way I can actually see all the cans since I'm short. To give the pantry a quick wipe down, and what I'm thinking is those big bottles of water, move them down to the very bottom shelf. We also keep some bottles there for vegetable stock, so those can go back there. And then I'm thinking at the bottom shelf towards the front, so it's kind of easy to reach, Loki's food and snacks and things like that, because we refill his jars with those, so that way those are easy to grab. And then the cans will stay there, but now hopefully more organized in that container. And then I'm thinking that maybe depending on how much stuff there is, I can put a basket next to that with some other stuff, and then these 2 shelves will have the rest, so the snacks, the baking, and all that other stuff. actually these two shelves should be flipped because this is all like baking and cooking stuff, but we don't use that all the time. But there's like pasta and the snacks in this area we use more frequently. So I think I'm gonna switch these two around. So this is the finished product. Not bad, a lot more organized. I do still wish that I had the smaller basket, so I'm going to check again at the Container Store and see if they have those, because I feel like it's easier if they slip in like this, two of them side by side, than having two one behind the other. I think that's a little bit more difficult to reach the stuff, but for now this is significantly better than before. So again, I just put the cans up there and this is spinning super well so I can find whatever I need. Then we have the sugar and the flour and Loki's canned food for easy access. Then we have the snacks and bread and things here, and pasta and rice and stuff back there. We also have here the baking and some cooking stuff, so baking soda, cornstarch, and brown sugar, and then some other stuff in there. And then at the bottom we have some oil and Loki's vitamins, our bottles and bottled water, and Loki's other food. Would also love to buy some more containers for some of the rest of the food, because there's still some that are open in their packaging, so it would be better if it's in an airtight container, but for now this will do. I think it's pretty good. Now I'm actually excited to start cooking. Thank you all for joining me on my pantry makeover, and I'll see you in the next video.